Bienvenue! Welcome to DrupalCon. Thank you everyone for being here. It's so wonderful to see friends and old faces in the Drupal community with kindness in their eyes and warmth in their hearts, and new faces with excitement to be here, to learn, and to become part of our community. And we're so grateful to have you. My name is Tim Lennon. I'm Hestenet on Drupal.org. I'm the Chief Technology Officer of the Drupal Association. The Drupal Association is the nonprofit foundation that supports the global Drupal project and community, and we rely on your support. Please come to our booth in the exhibit hall to learn more about becoming an individual member, a certified partner, or a sponsor of future events. It's my privilege to be your MC for the opening ceremony today. I want to do a series of thank yous to everyone involved who made Drupal possible. Drupal events are not like regular technology conferences. We do this in a true spirit of open source, in a true spirit of community, and it is always wonderful to be together. So I want to start with some thank yous. First, to my colleagues at the Drupal Association. Thank you. Thank you so much. The Drupal Association is a small but mighty team with staff in the US, Europe, and India supporting Drupal.org, community programs, and partnerships. There are so few of us that we often feel outnumbered by the scope of the community, the size of the Drupal ecosystem, and then we remind ourselves of the impact we can have on so many people, on so many lives, on so many businesses, and it makes us very proud of the work that we can do, and we appreciate your support to make that possible. I also want to thank the members of the Drupal Association board. These are leaders from the community who come from all walks of life. They might be agency leaders, they might be representatives from end users in higher education or government. They might be from outside communities who are coming to learn what Drupal is about and bring their knowledge and share their experience. And there are, of course, the community elected board members as well. They bring their expertise and the generous gift of their time to support the Drupal Association, to support Drupal, and to support the community. So if you see any of these faces of staff or board members throughout the conference, feel free to say hello, to tell us about your Drupal journey and what you see for the future so that we can think about that as we plan for the years ahead. I also want to thank a couple of our board members whose terms are coming to an end. According to our bylaws, we have certain limits on how long people can remain on the board, but they've done wonderful things to serve the community, to serve us. And so several board members' terms are coming to the end at the end of this month. So I want to take a moment to share some specific thank yous. For the first two members of the board that I'd like to thank, I tried very, very hard to find the most professional, business-like, buttoned-up photos that I could. So here we go. Mike Herschel is one of our two community-elected board members, has helped bring the voice of the community throughout his term, has brought heart, has brought the perspective of the front end, of the individual site builder, of someone who's been in the contribution trenches for years and years and years, and we really thank him for his service to the community. And Ryan as well has been a staunch advocate of Drupal, supporter of the association even before his term on the board, and has always challenged us to think differently in our board conversations and to find the way to do the best for Drupal. So thank you again to both of you. I also have a very special thank you to Batty, our board chair. She's reached the maximum consecutive terms that are allowed under the Drupal Association bylaws, or else we would be stealing her away for even longer, and I'm sure we're going to find some way to do that. But she has been incredible with compassionate leadership, kindness, care for the community, care for the staff, truly representing everything that it means to be part of Drupal Association leadership and to fulfill the mission that we want to meet. So if you'd like to learn a little bit more about the Drupal Association board and leadership and what's happening next, or if you'd like to say a hello or a thank you to any of these board members, please join us at the public board meeting that's on the agenda for this week. Now, thank you again. That's right. Thank you, Batty. Thank you so much. Now, I'd also like to thank Kuoni. So the staff are here, they're scattered around, they're working so hard to deliver this event. And I want to give a tremendous thanks to the entire Kuoni team for being our partners in presenting DrupalCon in Europe. Kuoni has been the Drupal Association's partners in creating DrupalCon Europe since 2019. And they're not just an event company, they're a true part of our community. Many of you out there probably don't realize how closely integrated they are into our community spaces, in Drupal Slack, in volunteer committees, talking with folks on site, all of these things in ways that are really representative of who we are as a community. What could be just another technology conference is done in the Drupal way, in close collaboration with community and volunteers. So thank you to the Kuoni team. There's too many people to thank. It's going to take a while. Hang in there. I also really want to thank the volunteers. This week is not possible without the dozens, if not hundreds of volunteers, people who are members of the advisory board and track committees, all of these folks, but also many of you in the audience who are volunteers on site, speakers, mentors. So if you could stand up if you're volunteering at the event today, just very briefly, or raise your hand and wave, I'd like everyone to give you all a round of applause. We are so grateful for what you do. Open source is only possible through a community coming together, doing what is larger than any single organization can do, and these volunteers show that spirit in how they show up to DrupalCon every day and make that happen. Of course, we must thank our sponsors for the event. Another way that DrupalCons are very special is that our sponsors are also true members of our community. They have experts on staff presenting amazing sessions. They're contributing back to key strategic initiatives in Drupal, and they're providing information and education and resources to people out there who are wondering what Drupal is all about and if it is the right solution for them. So please join me again in thanking all of the sponsors of this event, all of the people that you will see in the expo hall throughout the day. Please go say hello, ask what they're all about, and see what you can be a part of. Thank you again to all of our sponsors. We're getting close, I promise. We also need to thank the certified and supporting partners of the Drupal Association. So beyond just sponsoring, say, a single DrupalCon or a series of camps, certified and supporting partners support all of the programs that the association does around the world and throughout the year. And this can include everything from keeping Drupal.org online, helping to pay the staff salaries, ensuring that we can come to camps and learn more directly from regional communities, and of course things like putting on this event and more. So please join me in thanking the certified and supporting partners, many of the folks who employ all of you. We're so grateful to have you here. Thank you. And lastly, at least for now, there will probably be more applause throughout this presentation, but for the moment, thank you, all of you, the attendees here today, who have come out to join us, who have come to a growing event, a vibrant event in Europe that's getting bigger and bigger year over year. We're really grateful to have you being here to be part of this wonderful event. If you're a veteran, I encourage you to find someone new, to welcome them, to show them the true spirit of DrupalCon, what it's all about, what the phrase hallway track really means. So please, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for your support. Okay, some housekeeping for the week. Maybe not super exciting, but still crucially important. As many of you know, the COVID-19 safety policy for this week is that masks are welcome, but not required. There are free masks and COVID tests available at registration while supplies last. And if you do feel unwell, please do test. Let the staff know if you test positive. But otherwise, generally speaking, just be safe, be respectful of each other, and take care of each other. And we thank you very much for your attention to that. I also want to give a reminder of the DrupalCon Code of Conduct. Our Code of Conduct was built in an open source way based on some amazing work in other communities, and since it was created, it has been used further by communities who look to DrupalCon as a premier open source event of a way to foster and take care of community. We're really proud of the Code of Conduct. If at any point you feel uncomfortable or unsafe, find a Drupal Association staff member, go to the registration desks. We'll ensure to get you to a safe place, understand the problem, and find a solution. So please reach out to us if you have any concerns. Finally, the photo policy. A quick reminder, we're all wearing lanyards on our badges, and we encourage you to take and share photos, to get excited, to show off everything that's happening here at DrupalCon. Just if someone is wearing a red lanyard and you see them in that photo, don't post that one. They've requested not to have their photo shared. That's what those red lanyards mean. So just photography with consent. Lastly, if you haven't done it already, you'll find it very useful, if not necessary, to download the event app. So you can find it at any of these places, App Store, Play Store, the HTML5 version. Use the event code Drupal23, and that's going to be really important. It'll let you evaluate sessions, keep track of the schedule, all sorts of things. Speaking of which, that'll help you do the final general conference survey to tell us how we're doing and what you'd like to see in future DrupalCons, and again, to provide feedback that we can aggregate and tell our speakers and let them know what we want to do for next year. Now, I have a bittersweet responsibility with all of you this morning. We want to take some time to remember some members of our European community who have recently passed away. These are people whose heart was always with the community, and we remember them together fondly. The first that we want to remember is Hagen Graf. He authored one of the first ever books about Drupal. It was in German, but the translation of the title, Community Websites with Drupal 4.7. I don't know how many people in the room used Drupal all the way back then, but it was kind of a watershed moment, this notion that, oh, Drupal's not just a hobby project, it's something that people are publishing books internationally about how to build community. Hagen contributed to Drupal for 18 years. In addition to writing one of the first books, he attended 14 Drupal events, going back to the very first in 2005, and was one of the earliest people in building the culture of mentorship and contribution in our community. If you would like to share any memories or see the memories being shared by others, there is actually a website that his friends and family have created, hagengraf.love, and we encourage you to check it out and share. Most of all, Hagen was a builder of software, of books, home renovations, and most importantly, a builder of community, which is something that we carry through today. Now, I have another memorial for today, one more. And for that, to remember Frank de Roche, I'd like to invite up to the stage Sylvain Moreau to speak to his colleague and friend.
Thank you so much, Tim. How do you do that? Hello, everyone, and thank you for listening. The picture you see was taken in 2009 in DrupalCon Paris. And the person you see with long hair on the left-hand side is Frank de Roche, one of my best friends and our CTO, or former CTO at Access. Frank was planning to attend this DrupalCon Lille because he would rarely go to cons and camps, but this one was special since 2009, Paris. And Copenhagen, 2010, he never returned to DrupalCon in IRL, in real life. Frank suddenly left us this year in June, and we, his Drupal friends and his colleagues, we wanted to pay him this tribute in Lille in order not to forget his contribution to Drupal. What did Frank do for us? You have to remember that he contributed to Drupal for 17 years, one less than Hagen. And we used to say about him that he could see through the matrix because he knew everything you need to know about Drupal, the core of the modules. He maintained and he co-maintained so many modules. I invite you to look on his profile page. He's been credited to so many issues, including core issues. He made so many posts, including discussions in Drupal.org. He also mentored so many people online and offline. He was really a mentor for many, many people. I think that many people in this room have maybe been mentored by Frank. And to remember one of his great achievements in Drupal, he brought Scald module. Remember in Drupal 7 there was a media module which was called Scald. He brought it to life, and then he helped bringing media entity into core in Drupal 8.4, I remember. And most of all, I want to remember him as a really OSS advocate because his life was built around open source. So thank you, Frank. He will always be missed, and we, his colleagues, wanted to remember him. So now I can hand it back to Tim, and thank you for listening to this tribute.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you for those heartfelt remembrances and for the others that you may share as you go to either the website or speak with colleagues who knew either of these contributors, Hagen or Frank. Loss is a reminder that we must appreciate what we have. And in that spirit, I want to celebrate two more community members today who are still with us, who are alive and well, who are here, in fact. And truthfully, there are too many people I want to celebrate. And throughout this conference, I encourage you to pause for a moment and think about the bigger picture. Think of someone in the community who has impacted your life and say thank you. Now, two that I want to thank today are both individuals that have been on Drupal.org for more than 20 years and have been tireless servants of the community. The first is Gabor. I think just about everybody knows him. He has helped, I'm not even sure I have to say any words. He has helped so many people to become a part of Drupal. He has helped so many local communities. He was part of the group that organized Drupal Europe in the gap year when it was a difficult financial situation for the Drupal Association. And he has been a coordinator of coordinators to make great things happen in Drupal. And I'm just incredibly grateful in my role as a CTO, but also incredibly grateful just to have Gabor as a friend. Thank you. My next thank you, I would like to thank Neil Drum on the Drupal Association engineering team Many of you will know him as well. He has been, in some ways, a sort of single-handed maintainer of the developer tools that have brought Drupal across this 20-year journey, frankly, and to where they are today. Oddly enough, until our most recent hire on the engineering team, I was actually one of the last people we hired, and I've been there 9 years. And Neil's been there forever from the beginning, both in the community, but really as a sort of servant of the contributors to Drupal and ensuring that they have the tools that they need. And again, both professionally and personally, I'm very grateful, and I wanted to take a moment to say thank you. And this leads me to talking about building community a little bit. Drupal is a global community. We're a group of people that collaborate across national borders and boundaries. And for many people in our community, this is a difficult time. Whether in Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, Haiti, Yemen, Myanmar, Ethiopia, even unfortunately in the last few days here in France or in neighboring Belgium, there is a lot of conflict across the world. And we as a global community who understand international collaboration, I think we all hope for peace and for justice for all of our communities. Now, we cannot address all of the ills of the world, and we cannot be arrogant enough to say that open source software will somehow solve all social problems, and that's not our mission as the association or as the community. But we can be part of building an open web, a better web, as one small part in this larger whole of creating a better and more open world. Now, let's get more specific. Let's bring this down to earth a little. I'd like to talk just about the larger ecosystem briefly that Drupal is a part of. If you're not aware, the PHP Foundation was founded in 2021. And you might think to yourself, wait, that's so far after Drupal. Surely PHP must have had support for years and years and years. But the truth is that the underlying language that powers such a large part of the web, including Drupal, has only recently formalized their efforts for support and funding. A group of founding companies banded together in 2021 to create the seed pool of original funding for core and community developers to participate on their board and to help recruit and educate more PHP developers. Niels Alderman, one of the board members of the PHP Foundation, and who is also the co-founder of Packages, the dependency management ecosystem for PHP, is here presenting at DrupalCon this week and also talking about and promoting the PHP Foundation at large. So the PHP Foundation asked me to ask all of you, all businesses relying on Drupal, to follow the example of one of the founding members in the PHP Foundation, Acquia, and nearly 200 other companies who have already stepped forward to support the PHP Foundation, whether that is financially or through contribution. And speaking of contribution to the upstream, in the past, the Drupal project has actually made very significant contributions upstream to PHP. Depending on how you look at the numbers, there's actually sort of more core contribution activity, more core developers, more general contributors in Drupal than in PHP itself. And a lot of the work we do is reflected back in the upstream. In particular, our own testing system has often been so robust that we have caught issues in pre-release versions of PHP, collaborated with the upstream maintainers, and helped get that fixed before the production releases. Creating that better web, not just for Drupal, but for all projects in the PHP ecosystem. Now, speaking of testing, I'm going to take a minute here to brag. You may have seen the news. If you're a code contributor, this is huge. If you're not, I'm sorry. I'll try and explain. Testing. Testing is a huge part of ensuring that we can innovate quickly in Drupal without breaking things, without accidentally regressing backwards. Just in the past weeks, the Drupal Association and a bunch of core contributors and a bunch of community members, more than I can list on this slide, although I've tried to list many of them, have all come together. And as of this week, core testing is 5 times faster on GitLab CI than it was on our homebrew Drupal CI system just 3 weeks ago. What used to take us 50 minutes now takes 10. I've been reading messages on Twitter all week that are like, I can no longer get my coffee before my tests are done. I don't have an excuse to go take a break. And we estimate this is going to save 4,000 developer hours a month of time waiting for results. And just think about what productivity that can create for the project. And that leads me to one of the missions of the Drupal Association, which is fostering better developer experience in general. So as we increased the testing load, made it faster, the usage and the load got higher and higher, and leading up to DrupalCon, things were getting slow, especially in European time zones with lots of contributors. And so literally on Friday, as some of us were flying, I was already in the air, our team, together with our infrastructure partners at Tagman Consulting, lifted and shifted all of our GitLab instances to lightning fast infrastructure. You've probably already seen it. So all of the rest of the contribution side, merge request opening, all of these things, so much faster than it was before. And I think that'll really empower you this week when you come to contribution. Okay. So there's more coming soon, moves to GitLab issues, improvements to contributor onboarding. Come to the Drupal.org session if you'd like to learn more about these things. And speaking of that, you're invited. You're invited to many things this week, but I want to highlight a few. Let's go on to the fun. Firstly, after the Dries Note, we're going to take our group photo. This is a grand tradition to help us capture these beautiful memories of every con and look at our community over time. Today, that photo will be on sort of the grand staircase by registration. So after the end of the Dries Note, we'll direct you all out there so that we can take that photo together. We also invite you tonight to the opening reception in the expo hall. It'll be a fun time to meet and greet and get together, a time to introduce yourself to new people, to welcome new people into our community, and to make some new friends, and perhaps, again, to pause for a moment and say thank you. There are social events, beloved social events throughout the week. I think none more so than Trivia Night, but there are many, many more. So if you haven't already checked out the website's social events page, I encourage you to do so. There's options, multiple options, every night this week to socialize with the Drupal community. Just maybe don't stay out too late if you have a 9 a.m. presentation, please. All right. From my point of view, contribution is probably the most important part of every DrupalCon. There are contribution events every day of the conference, and especially on Friday. And if you have never contributed before, you are the most invited, most especially wanted to come to these contribution events. There are first-time contributor workshops 3 times this week, as well as mentored contribution on Friday. So I hope we'll see you there. I hope you'll find a buddy with maybe a little bit more experience. Maybe they first contributed last year, and they can help you deepen your engagement with the Drupal community. I've been alluding to this a lot. Why is Pac-Man on the screen? Well, I've invited you to all of these things, but I want to encourage you to invite those around you into whatever you're doing throughout the week. So the Pac-Man rule says when you're standing in a circle with all your old friends and talking, don't exclude the people around you. Leave a space open to welcome someone new into that conversation. Don't close that circle. Okay. I also want to highlight our keynotes this week, some major content. Now, obviously, you're all here for the Dries Note. I mean, I assume you've heard of this guy. Yeah? But the founder and project lead of Drupal, Dries, is going to tell us a mysterious and magical tale of Drupal's future. Cue the spooky music. On Wednesday, we actually have quite a lot of content. In the morning, we have the amazing story of 2 global brands and their journey to adopting Drupal. Wednesday afternoon, we'll learn to be fearless leaders from a former combat helicopter pilot and squadron leader, author, speaker. I think it'll be really exciting, really interesting for us. Wednesday also is that Drupal Association public board meeting that I alluded to earlier, which you can attend, come and thank members, see the current business, the slate of incoming members, which might be very interesting to you, and ask your questions. Finally, possibly my favorite keynote, I probably shouldn't pick favorites, but the Drupal core initiative leads will be on stage together to update you on the innovative work in the pipeline for the future of Drupal. Now, I would like to continue from here by inviting the local community that is hosting us, that is helping us be here in this country, the French Drupal Association, to say a few words. Local communities are key to Drupal success. So in their spirit, I'd love to invite Marine and Nicolas of the French Drupal Association to say a few words and also give us some important warnings.
Hi, I'm Marine.
Hello, I'm Nicolas.
I'm the president of the French Association.
And I'm the treasurer of said association. Welcome to France!
Yay!
Okay. That's all I'm capable in English, so we don't speak English. Sorry, bye!
Bye! Okay, we're kidding. Disclaimer, this presentation contains gluten and cliches. You're warned. Okay. Seriously, let's begin with a few useful words because for real, most French people will not speak English with you. So you need to be able to survive here. Okay, first lesson. Good morning.
Bonjour.
Yeah. Good evening.
Bonsoir.
Good pronunciation over here. Hi, hey.
Salut.
Salut. Ah, almost. Okay. Goodbye.
Au revoir.
Sounded very presidential.
Thank you.
If you want to say please, but a formal way.
S'il vous plaît.
Now you want to say please in a friendly way.
S'il te plaît.
And now you want to say thank you.
Merci.
Can you all say merci? Yeah, thank you too. Now, Nicolas, I think these are all good, but we need also to tell you.
There are big no-nos that we never say in French.
Never.
No.
Omelette du fromage. Please.
No, not ever.
No.
Definitely not.
No.
No.
Nobody says that. I had to
Nobody
learn
ever.
how to pronounce it just to say you, not to do it. No.
And this one.
I'll never. No, I'm not even saying it. Stop. And just as a woman, we don't. So, no.
No.
Okay. Now that we have the basics, it's time to go to, a bigger lesson on how to survive in France, but also, thrive, get the real French experience. So this is the most useful vocabulary. Anatomy of a baguette.
All right, so
This is a baguette.
when you got a baguette, the first thing you see of the baguette is obviously the crust, la croûte.
La croûte, okay? This is a golden baguette, so doré. You can have them less cooked, blanche, or more cooked, bien cuite. But yeah, once you cut the baguette, on the inside you have this delicious crumb of the bread, which is la mie de pain.
And when you've cut your bread, you've got these little breadcrumbs everywhere. Those are called les miettes de pain.
Okay. And now for something a bit controversial. The end of the baguette, or the beginning of the baguette, depends on which side you start your baguette, but the round bit has a specific name in French.
So many names, in fact.
Actually, there's so many names that we found at least 8, depending on where you live, in which French-speaking country. But let's say, because we do the presentation, we use our word. So this is called le quignon.
The quignon.
Voilà. We're going to take the quignon for the next the presentation. So, okay, this is really well and all, but maybe it's time for a spooky story.
Yeah.
Halloween is coming up. And so we're going to tell you about the legendary quignon thief. So, every French kid has experienced this. You go to the bakery, you buy a fresh baguette, and by the time you arrive home, the quignon is missing! A true mystery?
True mystery. And you know what?
What?
I've got evidence.
Oh no. Be careful.
Don't touch it
this
because
is a terrible image.
it's part of the investigation, but
So, yeah.
definitely, you know, the quignon is
Notice.
missing. You see?
It disappeared on the way. And, you know, we've never solved this.
But, you know, we know for sure now there is one mastermind that is behind all of this, the quignon thief.
The quignon thief. And you must know, no, it's not Carmen Sandiego.
No, but Little Rooster, just here, don't be fooled by his cute look.
Yeah.
As any French, he can be very fussy when he's angry.
Yeah. Notice the crumbs, les miettes. See? That's important stuff. So don't panic. We've got this. And for your safety, we've got some guidelines. Do not leave your baguette unattended. Just don't.
Very important. Do not try to catch the quignon thief by yourself.
No, it's too dangerous. If you see the quignon thief and you need help, contact any French, or specifically the blue suspenders team. We know how to deal with him appropriately, and that is put him back in his little nappy after a little snacky.
Yeah, because during this year, he's been traveling a lot.
Yeah, a lot of work.
He's very tired, and that's why he needs his quignon.
Yeah. He was very busy, and actually, I think some reporters have been following him around, and we have like a video of the trip for you. He's actually done more events than we have. So. Here you can see footage from yesterday evening. He's having a blast, you know? So this is the latest French gathering yesterday evening, French-speaking actually, because we had people from Canada and Belgium and Switzerland and France and several African countries that speak French as well. So here is Little Rooster with 80 French-speaking people. Yesterday evening, we had a blast. And so, yeah, we are very, very happy to have you in France.
Yeah, and I don't know if you think like me, but I think it's very cute and it deserves a rest. And I would like to bring him home with me, but
Yeah.
I think let's give everybody a chance.
Yeah, he needs to retire in a good home.
So there is an auction. The highest bidder is the winner and may return home with Little Rooster.
Ooh. If you want to adopt him, you have to use the app. You know, the one we told you to install earlier? So that one, there's this little rooster here. I think you cannot miss it. Please bid and know that there are 5 associations to choose from for the winner, and the whole money will go to that association. So you can choose between UNICEF, Drupal Association, Médecins Sans Frontières, Women Who Code, and Girls Who Code. So please do not be shy. Bother your company. Let's find Little Rooster a good home.
And keep a look on your baguette.
Yeah, do not leave the baguette unattended. Thank you. Okay, I'm just saying. And now we would like to invite another celebrity on stage, and that is Batty, please.
Hello, everyone, and it's not easy to come here after those two, right? I can though say that I'm going to remind you of the closing ceremony that is happening on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock, because we will maybe have a new mascot for next year. Who knows? I will though say that we learned a lot from this one, because it was hard to travel with him or it. And there was like a lot of really amazing things done. So we bought like vacuum packages and like tried to like use the Staubsauger in German. I don't even have the English word for it. But there was a big challenge with traveling with this one, but it's going to be a little bit easier next year, I think. But that's not why I'm here. I'm actually here to celebrate women in Drupal. And this is an event or an award that we started last year. This was all initiated by FFW. Thank you to FFW. And it started off, yeah, it's much nicer to have the lights in the audience, actually. It started by FFW and myself, and a few people coming together and actually choosing the winners for last year, and we did that in Prague. And now we decided to do it on the big stage, give a little bit more attention to this award, because we want to celebrate our amazing women that we have in the community. We have another award always in the US Con, that's called the Aaron Winborn Award, and we thought that this would be a great opportunity to also highlight some great people in our community here. So I want to welcome on stage my fellow jury members. It's the winners from last year's Drupal, Women in Drupal. It's Surabi, Christina, and Stella. Please come and join me here. And then please take a seat in front of the awards that we are not showing, of course. The names are already on it. So these 3 amazing women won last year, and then they joined the jury. And we are going to do the same now for next year. So they joined the jury. And the process was like this. We also, Kit from FFW, who's going to come here a bit later, she was also part of the jury. And this was a nomination process. So all of you nominated extremely many amazing women in the community. So we received a long list of people. And some names came up again and again and again. But some names, we actually, I hadn't heard of those women, and we read about them, and we got amazing stories of the contributions that they've been doing to Drupal. So it was not easy. But we looked at these nominations, and then we tried to find appropriate winners. And we are really lucky that all of them are actually with us today. So we can actually invite them on stage and everything. So in order to start the Women in Drupal Award, I would like to invite Kit from FFW and give FFW again a big applause for making this happen.
everyone, and thank you so much, Freddie, for the introduction to the rest of the jury, and of course also to the association for having us bringing this very, very, very important topic on the agenda. I'm so proud we are on this stage. I mean, wow. So last year was slightly smaller, but we're moving ahead. So just be careful, the women are coming. So just before I start, I have to say it was so much fun with the baguette. And I also feel like it was very complex, the thing with the baguette. So I'm actually very happy that what I'm going to talk about is super easy to understand. We need more women in technology, and we need more women in Drupal. So basically, that's what it's all about. You are allowed to... Yeah. So last week, I was visiting one of our clients, traveling, and they are producing water pumps. I didn't quite understand everything around it, but it was very much about difficult engineering. It was very much about manufacturing quite big and complex solutions. They were founded in 1945, right after the war, and they started being one person, and today there are more than 50,000 globally around the world. I was lucky, so I had one meeting with the CEO. He is also the founder's grandson, so meaning that he knows everything about the company's history. And I asked him sort of what was the most important thing you did in order to grow that fast. And he said, the most important decision we took, that was in 1963, when we invited women to join our workforce, and when we started to actually adding women to our factories, to our production. So he was very keen on this, that was the one thing that changed a lot of things. So why was that important? Was it because, you know, they needed more hands and they were out of men, and then they thought, okay, we'll just go home in the kitchens and find some women, or, you know, how did they come up with that? Basically, maybe that was how it started. But it ended in a very different place, because what they realized was that adding women to the production, to their company, also added a very different dimension, right? They saw things from a different perspective. They had ideas, you know, they contributed with a lot of things that I wouldn't say the men didn't, but you know, they just had a different mindset. So all of a sudden, they started to become much more efficient. They started actually to collaborate and work together in a different way. They made unions, you know, to empower a better workplace. And also, they created a different work culture. So there were a lot of things that happened in the company because of the women being invited to join the party, so to say. I think this can just be a reminder, you know, that in FFW we do spend a lot of time also thinking about, you know, how to really engage women to come into our, not only company, but actually our industry, and also really to change things. And I say we do not employ women just because they're women. We employ them because they're super good at what they do. And we do also do it to secure that we actually represent the society that we are part of, so that our solution can also represent the people that are actually using it. I think there is still a long way to go, unfortunately. I might be lucky enough to live in a part of the world. I'm from Denmark, so maybe we do not have the biggest problem when it comes to this, but I do know from many, many, many of our colleagues around the world, you know, that they struggle still with, you know, how society is built, and, you know, the kids need a mother to stay home and all these kinds of things. And I just want to support each one of you. You know, you can make a career even though you also have a family. I mean, I have 2 kids. It's not a problem. So I encourage really everyone to just, you know, if you're up for it, just go for it. So I think that's sort of the main, isn't it? Like, that's what we want to say today. Let's put a spot on the people that, or the women at least, that really tries hard and do their best to actually also make it in this world that is still dominated by men. You're good at this. Okay, so even though I could speak about this forever, I think you got the point of what I'm trying to say. So maybe we should actually take a very important step towards celebrating the women who sort of have made a difference. Ooh, my be kind badge just went down. So it's time not to be kind anymore. No, I think we should spend some time to actually celebrate this year's winners. And to do that, maybe Christina, you would help me on the first award, which is then the Define Award. So I'm going to read out the nominations for this year's winner. And it says, the nominees' focus is on creating sustainable, agile environments that support high-performance, diverse teams using Drupal as a main technology. The nominee and her team are one of the world's leading contributors to the Drupal projects and the community. She is the current secretary of the Drupal Association's Board of Directors. By giving her this award, we would show appreciation to her long-term, above and beyond commitment to the Drupal community and the Drupal projects. Please give a big applause to our winner, Tiffany Ferris.
Here's a mic.
Oh, awesome. So, what do you think, from your perspective, has been the thing that have made you more proud of helping out in Drupal this past year?
You know, I think in the last year, one of the things that Palantir has been working on is Edit Together, which is a collaborative editing suite. And it's kind of a part of our tradition is that we really look for these strategic opportunities of how we might work smarter as a community. So whether it was Workbench originally or then Rector during the pandemic and now Edit Together, we're really interested in finding these win-win-wins, right? Things that help the community, that obviously serve our clients and that are super fun to work on. So finding those kind of triple wins are really big for us. So I'm excited about that.
Nice. Want to add something else?
Yeah, so Tiffany, maybe you can tell us a little bit, what do you actually do?
So I have a lot of hats, like many people in the community. I'm the CEO of Palantir, and as a women-owned business, we are really proud to say that over half of our workforce are women, and we have more representation than many firms, because it's been a priority for us. And the women in the company are across every discipline. And I think I'm really proud of that. They're at every level and every discipline. So we really focus on career development and finding ways that people can kind of grow in ways that aren't incompatible with actually having a personal life. So there's that. As you mentioned, I'm the secretary of the Drupal Association, so I wear that hat quite a bit. I'm a community member, so I speak at camps and things like that. And yeah, so I think those are some of the things I do in Drupal.
And your company is, I heard, 27 years old?
27 years old.
Wow,
so
applause for that.
Yeah.
I see that you also have George, your husband, and your 2 kids here as well, so
Yeah.
thank you for coming.
It's George and Henry.
I heard that Disneyland was awesome.
Disneyland was great. And it's not their first DrupalCon. So I was pregnant with George when I was the chair of DrupalCon Chicago. And he's been to, Georgie was in Munich, and they were both in Amsterdam and Barcelona as well. So you just bring them with.
Awesome. Hey, so thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you.
And we're going to do a photo. So let's go up here. A little bit more in the light.
Can you carry it?
Yeah, of course. And the mom might carry everything.
So like, ooh, ooh. And not to mention, of course, Christina, your contribution has been amazing. So thank you, Christina.
Thank you. So that was our first award. So moving on to the next one. Surabi, you're going to help me? You were last year's winner of the build category.
Yeah, and maybe before you start, like, I think maybe you're coming from the furthest away. I know that there's others coming from Australia and maybe New Zealand, but where are you coming from, Surabhi?
Any guesses?
I don't know.
So I'm coming from Delhi, India this year, but every time it's a different city.
Okay. And how many Drupal camps have you attended this year?
This year it's second.
Second.
In Europe.
Oh. So she's an organizer of Drupal camps and comes on every single camp that she can go to. So thank you for all your contribution.
Thank you.
So I will read out the nominee for the build category for this year. And it says, she is an example to follow and has always been committed to the Drupal community. She does a lot to make the tech world a more inclusive place and bring important matters such as accessibility to the foreground. She's dedicated to make the world a better place for everyone, and I think she should be rewarded. She is the president of the Drupal France Association. Marina, would you come on stage again?
So back on stage, telling good stories.
Yeah. How about that?
But we are also curious to hear, what do you do in your day job, apart from all the stuff that we've already heard about?
Oh, so I'm supposed to be at the Platform SH booth, but I'm not.
Sorry.
I'm too busy with Contrib, but yes, I'm a DevRel engineer for Platform SH, and basically I just explain what we do, talking to devs as a dev myself, and no marketing pitch. And yeah, I go to conferences, do demos, and just enjoy life.
Very good. So tell us a little bit about the warm-up tour, because you didn't go into so many details. You talked more about where he was going around the world, but you also had a warm-up tour in France.
Yes, so I'm sure many of you like music. I'm a metal fan, and so I just copied what the Hellfest does, which is a huge metal festival in France. They have a warm-up tour with concerts all over the place for the year before, just to get people excited for the actual main event. And so I was like, what about something like that, but with meetups? And so after COVID, which is when I joined the French board, we all had virtual events, but we never really got back to our groove. So I just forced everybody to organize physical events. And yeah, we had 12 events from January to yesterday. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your work, and congratulations, and for the photo, right? So we have one more category, I think, Kit.
Yes. So the last one is the scale. And Stella, you're going to help also announce the winner of that one. Stella, you won last year.
And Stella, before we start, we see the big celebration in your booth. By the way, awesome booth.
Thank you very much.
So 15 years.
Yeah, Anertech is celebrating its 15th anniversary this year. So I went to DrupalCon Lille 15 years ago, met this awesome community that is Drupal, and the following week quit my job and started Anertech. So here we are 15 years later.
Great work. And you're still leading that company today. You're the CEO.
Yep, I'm the CEO.
Oh, great. And you're doing a good job. So great job.
Thank you.
So let's hear who is nominated.
Yeah, I'll read out the nomination of the winner. She's a vibrant member of the Drupal community and brings fresh ideas and a lot of energy into the events she's organizing. Coming from the Ukraine Drupal community and as co-organizer of DrupalCamp Kiev, she is the ambassador of the Drupal community in difficult circumstances. At the same time, she continues to support Drupal by bringing valuable contributions to DrupalCon Europe, and we're proud to have her as part of our community. The winner is Lenny Muskele.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
You need a mic, I think.
Thank you. I'm honored to be on this scene, especially like sharing it with so many absolutely amazing women. It's my honor.
So tell us about your day job and what you're doing in your daily life.
Yeah, I'm project manager. I've been doing that for a good 10 years now, and I think about the same time as I started to do project management, I also was introduced to this, our cozy microcosm of Drupal. So yeah, I'm project manager.
And when the war started in Ukraine, I think you were already organizing the camp, and that camp has obviously not happened. But maybe there is a way to do like a hybrid camp, and we started to talk about that idea. So if there's anybody here in the room that is excited about maybe doing some kind of a hybrid camp and actually do this again, because this is, who went to Drupal Camp Kiev back in the days? Come on, show your hands.
Yay!
Yeah.
Quite a few people. I also see some of the co-organizers over there.
So that would be an opportunity to work on something new for next year and bring that Drupal camp back to life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are looking forward to, well, first of all, the community and Ukrainian community, all the support that we are getting from all of you guys. It's amazing, and we couldn't be more grateful. But as well, we want to remind everyone that we are still alive, very much alive, and that we are looking forward to having Drupal Camp Kiev, of course, back in Kiev as soon as possible. But as long as it's not an opportunity and a possibility at the moment, I'm very much sure that we will find the way to meet face to face and to talk in real life very soon.
That was so great, and this is, thank you for that. And for everyone here that is not coding, this is a great opportunity to start work in the community by helping out organizing local events. And I think that that's where most of us actually started to do things, apart from the code contribution and all that. So great opportunity for everyone in here that wants to join, come and talk to us, and we can start.
Absolutely. Thank you, buddy.
So for the photo, right? Yeah. Yeah, now, yeah.
And one more time, let's invite all of the winners of the awards this year on stage with the jury members for a final photo, and maybe even a selfie, I don't know.
So great, thank you.
Thank you. Turn around, Council.
No, don't go away. Oh no, there's a selfie with all of them.
Everybody behind.
How is that? Wait. You do it. Oh, there's the selfie.
Can we get one more round of applause in the background here?
Yes. Thank you. So Tim, we have 15 minutes until Driesnote.
Yeah, we do. We've got a little bit of time.
So we were just thinking about inviting people to just stand up and move and...
Yeah, we'll have a very brief sort of intermission here, a chance for you to stretch your legs a little bit, maybe say hello to your neighbors. If you do decide to leave the theater for the moment, please make sure you're back in your seats 5 minutes before the start time. The start time is 1:30. So we've got about 15 minutes to go. But again, thank you very much for all of your attention and participation throughout the opening ceremony, and we'll rejoin shortly for the Driesnote.
Thank you.